Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss Bitcoin knocking on the door of all-time highs. Highest daily close yesterday that we've seen. We're going to talk about the Ethereum co-founder potentially selling off his Ethereum. We're going to talk about some interesting plays in the meme coin, altcoin, and NFT space that we're watching for today and going forward. We're joined today by a special guest. You got Chris Coffee, pizza ninja extraordinaire, abstract streamer, searcher, on-chain degen. He's been around the space for a while. Chris, how you doing today?
Hey, Jim. Thank you guys for having me. Super excited to be here. First time ever on the Daily Bone podcast and been keeping up pretty much since you guys started it.
Yeah, love to see you. You're always in the crowd commenting. I got a good story like a while ago. I was working with WGMI and our buddy Tom, and we actually came on your podcast like way back when you were hosting a daily podcast. We came on your show to talk about one of the new products we were releasing, and it's kind of funny. It all goes full circle, and the people you've worked for in the space years ago, you kind of just see again and like kind of keep relationships with over time. Super happy to have you. I'm really excited to hear your perspective. This has been a fun week getting some other perspectives on this space and in this stream to hear what other people have been looking at.
Yeah, man, it was really great to have you guys. When I did do a podcast, it was so hard to keep consistent. So that's why I have such an utmost respect for this podcast, because every day at 8 a.m. my time, you guys are live. And I think like maybe you, possibly Rug Radio, I don't know, there's like less than 3 podcasts that have been able to do that over the last few years. So the consistency is like the hardest part for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely takes a lot out of you running a podcast day after day. And I think that the guys over here have done a good job. There's been like a lot of host rotation too. So you don't see like too much like burnout. It's easy. Like everyone can kind of like jump in and switch. You've seen Pio hosting it forever, Clemente, now myself. So it's nice to like continue the trend and continue to be doing this. This was always one of my favorite shows. And I like you said, the consistency, knowing you can pop up on any day, any given day, and see what's going on, what these degens are trading, what's going on in the crypto market. Big fan of the show and just super excited to be a part of it myself, to be honest. Kix, how you been?
What's up, nerd?
How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, despite the Delaware bashing I was taking pre-show.
It's okay.
From you too.
There's 49 other great states out there.
Hey, man, it makes you feel better. I had 10 murders escape in my state. They're probably like in my backyard by now too. It made like national news.
Oh, I saw about that. Didn't like a janitor let him out?
Yeah, there's like a poly market bet on it, I think, on like who they capture by what date. Like I think there's even one going for like who they get by Friday or whatever. But yeah, apparently they like threatened to shank a janitor if he didn't turn off the water. And so he had to like turn off the water, and there had to be like a couple of other like insiders involved to like let the prison break be possible.
Dude, that's crazy. I didn't see much about this. All I saw was Clemente come into the Bodogas Discord and say, "Is there a prisoner escaping coin yet?" Someone linked him on. He said, "Okay, I'm in." That's all I know about this. But apparently, it's big enough news that it caught his eye.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, like, it's pretty funny. Like one of the guys who committed murder is in there for life, gets out, goes with his homies, goes to like some like food place and does like an Instagram live of like, yo, it was so easy to break out, like still in New Orleans. Like it was so easy to break out of this or whatever. They need to up their security. They got him within like 30 minutes. But it's like he could have been free, man. Like he could have, possibly, made it out, but instead he decides to hang out with a bunch of dudes, by the way, right after being with a bunch of dudes for the last few years, and then just gets captivated again.
Wild stuff going on in the US. All kinds of crazy news, crazy stories. We've got a lot to talk about today. We're gonna get into the weather report here with Kix in a minute, but first, let you know this show is brought to you by our partners over at DYDX. Some exciting stuff going on over there. You've been following Easy. Easy's been traveling down the DYDX journey, just stacking up rewards in addition to a profitable portfolio. They finally released their breakdown on the Surge month 1 rewards. And you can see here a good amount of traders got rewarded a decent chunk of money. Over 2.26 million DYDX tokens, about 1.4 million USD, was sent out to 2,800 traders. Look at this, 4 traders received 50K. That's a nice little boost. And then it goes down the list. 627 traders receiving $100. So trading on DYDX, getting your volume up is going to allow you to climb this leaderboard. Best way to do it is trade on the official DYDX platform. This kind of cuts out any APIs, automated generating traders, from entering this leaderboard. You get more points that way. So it's friendly to the retail trader. If you haven't signed up for DYDX yet, what are you doing? Go to bodoggos.com/DYDX. They also have announced their Kaito partnership. So there's a Kaito leaderboard for DYDX now. We're going to be talking some SocialFi later in the show. But if you're somebody who's trading, share your trades. Tweet about them. Tag DYDX. Just give your thesis out there. You can earn extra rewards. They're giving out $50K per month over the next 3 months to people on the leaderboard for Kaito. So interesting stuff from DYDX. Probably one of the more EV positive things you can do if you're trading responsibly, making like maybe even delta neutral trades on the platform, stacking volume, talking about them, earning these different types of rewards. Love working at DYDX, working with DYDX. We've been working with them for a few months now. They're a platform we use and trust in the space. So it's exciting to partner with them. That being said, let's kick it off with a little weather report here, Kicks, and we'll jump into the show.
Sounds good, Bunko. Let's do it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Wednesday, May 21st. The majors are up on the day. Bitcoin just under 107K. Ethereum at 2550 and Solana at 170. It was a massive day for Bitcoin as it recorded its highest daily close ever. More capital is on the way as the IBIT Bitcoin ETF jumped into the top 5 of all ETFs for year-to-date inflows. And the Texas Senate passed the Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and Investment Act, allowing the state to invest in Bitcoin. That's a pretty big deal considering they want to succeed from the United States because their credit rating is better than the federal government's. More bullish news broke as Vivek Ramaswamy's Strive announced their planned acquisition of $8 billion worth of Bitcoin claims from Mt. Gox. The company said buying the claims would allow it to purchase Bitcoin at a discount and grow its Bitcoin per share ratio ahead of its planned reverse merger with the famous asset entities. Finally, we have some controversial news break as Argentina dismantled their task force investigating the Libra launch token. President Javier Milei signed the order stating the unit has fulfilled the functions assigned to it. Rumors have it that the Chilean special forces led by Clemente will be coming to exact revenge to all the victims of Libra. That is it for the weather report. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Kicks. This is so good. Like, did anything come from this? Like, I didn't hear any findings from this. So he's like, okay, yeah, we'll make this task force, and now like everything's blown over 3 months later, and it's like it's fulfilled all the functions assigned to it. It's good to go.
I mean, it's just funny that you could even, do that. If you did that in the United States as the president, you'd be getting impeached. There'd be all sorts of drama. He's just kind of sweeping it under the rug. At the end of the day, I don't even really care about him. I think he was a patsy. I'm like, what's up with Hayden Davis, dude?
Yeah, where's he at?
Yeah, I mean, that guy hopped on a live interview and just basically said that he was committing fraud, manipulating the markets on like a daily basis. He wasn't even like, he was like, no, this, it's like, was this a one-time thing? No, I've done this with like 40 tokens by now. So we'll see.
CoffeeZilla's eyes just like wide in disbelief, like throughout that interview was just pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I do know like investigations take time, right? So maybe he's being investigated.
Yeah. So he's like on Interpol's most wanted list right now, probably being hunted down. I don't know if he's in custody anywhere or if he has any kind of like protection or deal.
Oh, wait, he is on Interpol's most wanted list?
Well, he has. I think there's an Interpol
like red notice.
Yeah. Let me just do a quick search, but yeah, I think that's the case. Yeah, lawyer request. No, I guess they requested an Interpol red notice for him.
Gotcha.
So it's like kind of, is he on it or is he not? But
I feel like you could make a good Righteous Gemstone style TV show about Hayden Davis and his family.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch the fuck out of it.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Danny McBride.
We have Bitcoin doing some crazy things right now.
Bitcoin showing strength, dude. Leading the dance.
Yeah.
which is great.
New all-time high on a daily close here. Close 106,454.
It's really interesting because, and sorry to just jump in right here, but I feel like Bitcoin is in this like perfect middle ground right now, where some investors treat it as a risk-on asset, right? And like if they're bullish on rates unwinding, this and that, blah, 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 right? Strong economy, they like Bitcoin. And then there's another group of people that buy it like a safe haven, like it's gold, right? But they'll both buy, like they'll capture both types of buyers, right? Because like some of the rip, I wonder if, if you've seen like the Japanese bonds surging everywhere, right? So is it getting a surge right now as a flight to safety, right? But then if things clear up, it'll just keep surging because then other people are like piling in on it as a risk asset. So it's a bird with two different wings. The MACD curl looks pretty nice on the. Oh, that's gold.
That was gold.
I started off as a risk off asset guy, and then I ended up as a digital gold guy. So yeah, maybe a lot of other people are like that.
Yeah, hybrid animals, dude. I
mean, looking at the MACD on this, it wanted to curl back down and said, nope, fake out. We're going back up on the daily.
I don't do the daily anymore. It's just I only do weekly or monthly.
Yes, on the weekly, I mean, we're beginning a nice curl on the monthly or the weekly MACD here.
Yeah, weekly looks good.
Let's take a look at the monthly as well. I mean, this is a weekly. It's just strength. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row with green on the weekly for Bitcoin. Monthly, we're looking at 2 months in a row. Why am I not getting MACD?
That's weird. It looks good on the monthly too. I've already seen it.
All right, we'll take Kix's word. Looks good on the monthly. MACD on the monthly. Bitcoin looking good. Do we see an all-time high this week? I'd love to.
But the candle it's at a thick candle all-time high.
Yeah, so we need 109,356.
I could see that happening. I mean, how many what's that like? 2%.
Yep.
Gain. I think that could happen. What's today? Wednesday. By Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chris, what do you think? All-time high this week?
Yeah, I think we can go up 2%.
We've seen a couple buys.
I do think once we break all-time high too, that like leaves so much room to kind of have a new discovery. Because I think that all-time high right now is in a lot of people's heads of like even last week on the show, Easy said like it concerned him that it did not break all-time high when it broke out. So I think that'd be good. But I'm not a chart guy. I'm more of I'm still learning how to chart things well. But yeah, I mean, it just makes sense to me. Yeah.
Don't, Chris. It's better to be a thesis-driven guy, in my opinion.
Yeah, man.
Seriously,
I've been really practicing on these sub 100K market cap memes. Drawing those fibs and
that's voodoo science. Voodoo science. Now you can definitely. I think it's good if you want to like buy more Bitcoin, for example, right? Like you can with like MACD and stuff like that or Bollinger Bands, you can time good buys. But I think being thesis driven is what will allow you to hold things, Yeah,
I agree. I'm definitely thesis driven.
That's good. Yeah.
And Bitcoin go up.
Bitcoin go up.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's looking good. I think one thing Kick said though is you're getting price. You're getting buyers on both ends of the risk spectrum, like risk off, risk on. But then that also means you kind of also have sellers on both ends of the risk spectrum. So
yeah,
is it a little bit like it's like is it eventually going to become more volatility capped because of this? Is the question, or are you going to see more of the speculative buyers like fade away and it becomes more like risk off as it gets higher? So it's interesting that there's still multiple theses out there on like what Bitcoin is and what it does.
It goes up.
Yeah.
That's what the truth is. It goes up.
Dude, there's been a lot of ETF inflows this week. I mean, like, there's 329 million May 20th, 667 million May 19th. There's been 1 billion in inflows in the last like 3 days. Did you already have up that chart, or are you just like super fast? I didn't even know that you had that up.
No, I just brought it up when you started mentioning it.
Okay.
It's just one I can
Yeah.
quickly get to. It's like an autocomplete for me.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
But that's a lot of
1
inflows
billion
this
in the
week.
last 2 days, essentially. That's crazy. Wild week. We're gonna see more to come, I think. BlackRock 305 million. We also saw, like, notably yesterday we talked about this, but ARK, BitB, FBTC also had like very much higher than average inflows yesterday. Like maybe like some of their biggest since like launch. I didn't go back and do the dive into it, but 155 million from ARK is a very high number for ARK. They're kind of almost like 50-50 to have like an outflow even on a green day. So that was a big buy from ARK. And a big buy, 188 million from Fidelity's FBTC.
I feel bad for ARK because I think that lady was incredibly ripe on a lot of things, but just timing bad.
Yeah. Yep. So we're continuing to see inflows on Bitcoin. We're seeing some decent days on Ethereum. Big day on Ethereum yesterday, almost 65 million.
Like that.
Yeah, I like to see that. We had some bullish Ethereum news as well. We saw NASDAQ listed BTCS. I've never heard of BTCS before today, but they bought $8.4 million worth of Ethereum, and they were up at least 14% pre-market. Let's pull them up on the screen right here. More NASDAQ traded stocks investing in crypto. You don't normally see the Ethereum investment on these. Let's pull away these Bollinger Bands for now. But yeah, they wicked all the way up over $3 from $1.50. Pre-market, they're up as well on this announcement. $56 million market cap company. I have no idea what BTCS Inc. does. But they're buying Ethereum.
That's all that matters. I wish I had a publicly traded company, like I was on board of like a small one that, you know, was worth $50 million, because I'd have the best idea ever.
You're like, hey, you know what we can do? Let's just put out some convertible notes, buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana, release a press release, stock goes up, release more convertible notes, and it's like a never-ending carousel.
Well, you remember that Janover one you shared like a month ago? That was like, I think it was at 50 or 60 bucks, and now it's like 100.
Whoa.
What happened?
Something's
No, the Janover one. Is that the Janover one?
Yeah, something's wrong here. Unless they like did some kind of split. They rebranded tickers DFDV, DeFi Development Corp. That's your name. But yeah, it ran up over 156 over the weekend. It was down yesterday with everything else. Wick down as low as 100. Yeah, but a crazy candle from like 92 to 160 on DeFi Development Corp. I don't know if they had some sort of split or if this is just bad data coming in off of.
What are you guys even trading stocks on now? I like sold my whole stock portfolio to go into crypto, so I haven't touched anything in years.
I haven't.
I like Robinhood, but like I still use E-Trade sometimes.
Dude, when Robinhood did the GameStop debacle, like I swapped everything over from Robinhood to Webull. When
a lot of people hated them for that.
Yeah, I'm still not over it. It's been like 5 years.
Yeah, there's something going on here. I don't know what's going on with this. I'll take a look. Yeah, I use Robinhood. I haven't really done too much equities trading. I bought some micro strategies at like the Pico tippy top. Maybe the last one who piled in the micro strategies before it dipped in November. So I'm basically just like sitting on that position, and I should have been buying Robinhood, as Easy's been basically like all in on that. I mean, when you're not following Easy into a thesis that he's like all in on, I don't know what you're doing. I think you're just going to net win more than you lose on those. Has been evidenced by some of his like really big conviction plays, Solana, most recently the Launchcoin. Robinhood's looking good already as well. Moving on, though, we had some more news. Talking about Robinhood, they submitted a proposal yesterday with the SEC. They're going to be looking to get some regulatory clarity on RWA tokens. So more bullish news coming for Robinhood. I figured I mentioned that while we're actually talking about the Robinhood stock. And some news coming out of the Pudgy Penguin ecosystem as well. We have a children's book being published with Random House titled The Worst Birthday Present Ever. I'm going to pick this one up for my daughter. She's obsessed with birthdays. She'll like just say happy birthday every day to anything. Say it to our dog, say it to me. Just a big birthday fan. So this feels like a good book for her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's just like really into birthdays. It's so weird. But cool to see Pudgy is continuing to push the IP. Let's take a look over at Blur, see what the floor is looking like. I doubt
I will 100% buy that book. I like started buying the Pudgy stuff as soon as they released it to Walmart. I don't have any Pudgy assets like digital wise, but I have a bunch of their physicals for my kids. My kids love them.
Yeah, it's awesome. I got to get into that. I got to see if they're available like near me. Did you order them like in store or did you get them delivered?
When they first dropped, I ordered them online, but like once like some time went by, I mean, I can get them from like Walmart. We have like a place called Five Below. It has like, I don't know, just supposed to be $5 and under type of stuff. But they had a bunch of stuff there. Pretty much anytime I randomly see it, I'll buy something. But I'll definitely do a kids book. I mean, we read books to our kids every night.
Yeah. Yeah, that one looks great. Pudgy's no movement really. We're back down under 10 ETH there. I think eventually these are going to become a buy again. I think we see just bleed down, bleed down, bleed down. And then
what, the kids book didn't 2x the floor price?
I know, that's bullshit.
It's not 2021 anymore. If that came out in 2021, people would be going nuts. It's wild how much our expectations have changed for like what requires NFT price movement since 2021. That's about it for major headlines today. The last major headlines are kind of lead us into a bigger discussion. We saw Cookie. If you've been following the AI run on Base, you've known that we've talked about Cookie for a while. They released an InfoFi platform, essentially allowing users to like enter a competing platform to Kaito. So I'm going to pull up this platform here, their announcement. Very similar to Kaito in terms of what it looks like. It's initially like invite gated. There's a campaign beginning in a couple days, seeing that basically take over the timeline in terms of like what I'm seeing on Twitter right now. Kaito has such a huge head start here. It's interesting to see a new product pop out. There have been other competitors, namely Wallchain. I know, Chris, you've been into Wallchain for a while. Before we dive too deep into Cookie, like what was Wallchain and like how is that competing with Kaito? Are there any differences or like what do you see when you're looking at these other InfoFi platforms?
Yeah, I mean, the thing I see is that there's just other competitors, and so I'm trying to take advantage of the other competitors, especially because these things, like I personally already like researching different stuff anyways and posting about it. So now you could possibly get an airdrop for it. So why not do it? So that's kind of all I saw in Wallchain. Was their first partnership was actually ApeChain. I thought that was interesting because they started off with a pretty massive partnership. And so, I mean, yeah, you can see right there the ApeChain leaderboard. And it's the same style. It's a lot more gated because it's invite only, but you only get like 3 invites each. So it's a little harder to get like an invite to it because it's still technically in beta. They just did their third partnership with Socket, which is like this like back end product. I did find this one was kind of interesting. I made a video on it. I'm actually number 3 on that leaderboard right now. You can see my name. But I found this one interesting because it's back end. So I feel like it's not a lot. I don't even know what they really receive out of a lot of people talking about it because there's only so much you can say about something that allows transactions to go through. They've like basically helped out $20 billion in transaction volume. It's not like a consumer product though. But anyways, yeah, the guy that's right beneath me is Yuri. He's the co-founder of Wallchain. I don't even remember off the top of my head, but like when I was originally getting into it, I did some research on him and his partner, and it just looked like that they were good builders in the space. So basically, I'm betting on competitors for Kaito 2. I signed up for Cookie 3 as soon as I saw it, which is funny because like Cookie was like one of the few virtuals that I actually like used, like the dashboard, the analytics and stuff. I never did buy anything with it, and I thought when I saw like Cookie 3 going across my timeline, it was just kind of like the whole virtuals ecosystem kind of reviving, so I didn't really pay any attention to it. I just saw that it's going to be like yet another competitor, so I don't know, like why not? I mean, these things can either grow your audience if you're not already using, if you like don't have an audience but you want to grow, or if you already have an audience, it's like you literally could possibly get massive airdrops just for talking about things that you might already talk about anyways. So yeah, I'm pretty bullish on InfoFi. I'm trying to really find out a way to do it that makes sense with video, because I do more video content than I do like written content. But a lot of these things can't, like, they don't have the transcript to your videos. They just have the they just have whatever you write along with it. So I actually haven't said this, but one of the things I've been trying to do is basically take the transcript of my video and like compress that into something I would say about it anyways, but leave out some details. That way people also want to watch the video. So like that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of been my plan. It's worked a few times. It's a hit or miss, but yeah, I mean, just because it's able to see that I did the research or whatever. Also, I like doing video with these because a lot of these are just like AI, like rewording already well-written posts for it or whatever. But when you do video, that kind of shows people that you actually like, you're at least saying the words, you know, you've at least done the minimal amount of research. You're able to kind of slide in some like random stuff in there. So I do feel like it builds a little bit more trust of like, it's not just a copy paste AI reword, you know, opposed to a lot of other just like engagement farming posts. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. I think if you have a platform and you have the time and you already like researching new stuff in this space, like this year for me and last year has been very much like learning new things in the space. So that a lot of these InfoFi things do teach me a lot about like how things work and using new protocols. And it's double airdrop for these things, because Kaito already did their massive airdrop, you know, a couple months ago. But like, if this cookie does their own airdrop with whatever they called the token, if Wallchain, their thing is Quacks, is what they call them. Obviously, there's going to be a Quacks airdrop. You know, so you're like, it's a double airdrop. You get the Quacks, and then you get possibly whatever ecosystem you're talking about. I don't know like what Ape Chain is going to give you or Ape Coin is going to give you, or like for sure if it's going to work the same way as Kaito pre-TGE, but it has to work similarly. Dang, you have 504 Quacks. That's a lot.
Is it? Yeah, that's my main question for you, is like how does this rank in terms of Quacks?
I'm ranked top 50 in the Wallchain leaderboard and number 3 on Socket, and I think I have like 100 something. So you have a lot.
I signed up a while ago. That's probably why, I imagine.
Yeah, maybe so. Oh, your bonus Quacks. You have 355 bonus Quacks, whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't know how. Maybe it's people I invited.
Yeah, and one of the things I noticed with Kaito too, just for signing up, I didn't even think about it for the first few months, and then I went back and checked, and I had a few random airdrops. Like I think I had I definitely obviously had the Kaito airdrop. I did really well in the prompt airdrop because I wasn't as big as the bigger accounts. I think Clemente got upset about that on the show. But because the bigger accounts got purged, you know, they got screwed. The smaller accounts like mine did pretty well on that. So I was in a really good zone for that. IP, I think, was also involved with Kaito. So I did well in that. Just, I don't really even go out of my way too much for these things. Like, if I have the time, I'll look for something interesting and talk about it. But like, it's not like I spend every day like yapping about this stuff. Obviously, Infinex is a big one right now. They're doing like what's the amount? They're doing a massive, it's like multi-million-dollar giveaway over the span of the next few months, and it's like on a ladder system, and they're doing it a little differently. They're actually manually going through the post to see if they're bots or not. And they're also comparing it with Infinex score. And that's why you see people like ICOBs. He's been talking about this a lot, and a lot of other bigger accounts. This is going to be a really, really big one, the Infinex, which I actually use the site. It like creates a wallet for you. It's pretty clean, but it's not crazy. Like it's all right. It doesn't really do that much. They have like a little game in there that I played that I probably should have, you know, read how to play before I did it. But it's worth doing. It doesn't take very long to sign up. They have like once you do it, they have some tasks to do. And basically, I mean, you always know what happens if you do the task that the thing asks you to do. Usually that helps you with airdrops, and they're pretty basic tasks, like, you know, send $100 to this account. Yes, if you scroll down. So you've already done this. You might have already done the task, but if you go to the homepage and scroll down, it'll show you the task to do. Do switch, which is a bridge. That's the only one that you have left to do. And then the third one is, I don't know, play bull run, which is the little game that they have.
So switch is basically just like a cross-chain bridge. Like me
That's all it is. Check the slippage. Some people had issues with slippage. I did not, but some people's slippage was pretty high. Mine was fine, but Just
That
didn't want you to end up paying 50% in slippage while talking about it.
That was good.
Yeah, so
this is one I did as well. I think that this is where you can really pay attention. If you go to Yapper leaderboards, if you go to yaps.kaito.ai and you look at pre-TGE, these are all the protocols that have tokens yet to come. Checking out some of these makes a lot of sense. Also, Kaito Earn. If you go on the left side, Kaito Earn, you'll see some post-TGE projects that are offering incentives, like UIDX is on here. We talked about them earlier. Polkadot has also 100K per month split over 6 months. That's when you see a lot in terms of one that's already post-TGE. So like checking out these as well, you can see a lot of their a lot of the different benefits.
Yeah, I also I did end up before this last run up, I did buy and stake Kaito. So I full ported my airdrop when I first got it, just sold the whole thing. And I realized, because I thought it was more of just like a governance token that like I don't really care about voting for stuff or whatever to hold thousands of dollars. But I saw that basically by staking the token, some of these airdrops you got a piece of just for staking. So like the Boop was one of them. I don't remember the amount, but I mean, even if it was just a couple $100 just for having some staked, I was like, well, if this continues to be a thing, like why not just stake to be able to like receive some of these airdrops passively without even like participating. So I did go ahead and buy and stake, and I'm actually up a lot on that Kaito that I did buy and stake. And you could they also have a Genesis NFT, but that's a lot more expensive, a lot bigger risk. That's really for those that are serious in the ecosystem. I think it's like the 2 ETH or something like that, opposed to just kind of buying whatever amount of Kaito that you want and staking it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty deep. I own an NFT. I also have a decent chunk staked, not only for like those airdrops, but for focusing on the virtuals ecosystem. You get good bonuses there. There's a lot to unpack here between all of these. I feel like I'm in a weird spot where I'm not a top account, and I don't know how much I'm benefiting from like discovery as well. So like I feel like in that weird middle ground right now in terms of like farming this, like trying to get like find the proper way to like have a voice on Twitter that is like my voice, as well as like optimizing for these. So it's like a tough middle ground to like kind of dance that line, as opposed to like not selling out versus like maximizing your posts on social media. I can see Kix is just like wants no part of this. He's like, yeah, screw all these people. Kaito,
no, I mean, I think it's cool, and like honestly, I think it's a better way to deliver airdrops versus like the traditional like farming for airdrops, where you have like a ton of sibling, right? And you have like I was never really interested in farming airdrops, even though I know some of them would have been good. Just because I imagine myself going up against like a phone server farm with like 200 phones in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This seems like a much better way of rewarding people, especially people higher up the social food chain. And then additionally, it gets those people talking about you, right? Whereas with a lot of airdrops, it's almost counterintuitively, you don't want to tell more people about it, because if you told more people about it, then you have more competition. So I think it's really cool. And the fact that Kaito now has a couple people emulating them is a testament to their success. I just personally dislike them because they nerfed my airdrop. And if you're going to talk shit to me, fuck you. But I respect the hell out of them. And I think they're a phenomenal company. So I love them, but also go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like that duality.
I also think this whole like tracking InfoFi too is good for people that are like trying to market their products, not even just paying for the like TGs or whatever the allocations that like they distribute, but like if you're launching a game or if you have a product coming out, you can literally go to one of these leaderboards, find the top 20 voices for that leaderboard, cold DM them saying, hey, like we have this product coming out. Like basically it kind of reminded me during the time of that we would track like, I don't know if it was Twitter Spaces specifically or Twitter accounts. And basically, what was that thing called? It tracked the top CT influencers. It was popular for like a year.
It was like a couple of years ago, right? It was like
yeah,
early.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. NFT Inspect, yeah, it's like a better version of NFT Inspect in my opinion, because like it really gets you down to like who gets the most engagement over what topics, and really allows you to kind of narrow down like who would be best to work with in the future, even if you don't allocate funds. But if you do allocate funds to it, it's also pretty beneficial, because instead of having $100,000 that you're going to distribute on this marketing campaign, you could just team up with Kaito, give them 100 grand to distribute it amongst all the creators. You literally get the best voices in the space possibly if you have a good enough product just by like doing that. So I really like it. Like, I'm not a big enough account to like make a ton of money on these, but it's worth it. Like trying. I mean, Prompt really gave me motivation, because Prompt was like, we're not gonna, you know, like I guess it screwed people like Kicks. But I'm smaller than that, so for me it was like, you know, I made a couple posts on Prompt. I did really well. I'm sure there will be more of those in the future. Why not try?
Yeah, and I mean, one of the interesting things, at least in my opinion, when it comes to alpha or good takes on Twitter, I've gotten some of the best information on Twitter from people that have less than 10K followers. And ironically, I think there's a lot of people that have less than 10K followers that have, there's probably, this is what I would say, there's more people in crypto. If you took the top 1% of people on these leaderboards, I bet you that there's more people with under 5K followers that have more money than like more money in crypto, right? Like being successful in crypto doesn't always translate to a high follower count or being successful in crypto. And you actually get a lot of people with lower follower accounts that have really good ideas. But I mean, I think that's something that these things can solve for too.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like not counterintuitive, but like it's like a sliding scale. So like as you get more influence, if you're somebody who's taking like paid, you have more opportunities to take paid deals. So a lot of times your alpha becomes diluted with other takes potentially that are paid versus not paid.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally. Or they have more TGE access or what have you. Yeah, like back in the day in like 2021, I followed all these people with really low follower counts, and they had the smartest alpha. Also, I think because if you have a lot of money, you don't care about how many followers you have. You aren't trying to optimize for it. You're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna tweet.
Right, exactly.
Dude, Kicks, how did you change that water? Like, I feel like you like took a sip of water, put it down, and you picked it back up, and it was red.
It's pink lemonade Spindrift, dude. Phenomenal.
Oh, okay.
Phenomenal product. Yeah, no,
I chugged that. Water out of the glass. You put it down. You picked it back up. And it was red. Like,
little magic trick.
Like, how?
Little magic trick, dude. I got many more. Just wait.
I like this from Cookie.fun. Good sentiment, bad sentiment. Kind of breaking down the difference between things with mindshare over 7 days. What's going down, what's going up, and also like total mindshare, including like major tokens, which is interesting. Like seeing Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and then all the data behind them in a table. I'm a big table guy, so I like this. Like you were saying, Infinex is really crushing over the last 7 days. Have gained a ton of mindshare.
I mean, look at it's their airdrop, dude. I don't remember exactly. I think I don't want to say a number so far off that it sounds stupid, but it's a really large airdrop they're doing, and they're doing it in that different like ladder system way. But earlier, Ray, you were saying like it's kind of hard to find a lane for you, or I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. I feel that way. For me, it's kind of what I said earlier. Like, I think doing a video and then breaking down my transcript for the video and then using that transcript to guide the post, but leaving out things from the post that points to the video, I've seen some success with that. I think it's really just finding whatever like lane you can find that's creative, or finding something that like that thing I made a post on called Socket. Like, I didn't see any other informational post on that. I saw people like farming the points, you know, like, oh yeah, Socket's cool because of, you know, it does DeFi things or whatever. But like nobody actually explained what the hell Socket was. And so I was like, well, I'll find out what Socket is. And I researched, I did like 5 minutes of research. I found out what it was and I talked about it. So, and then I think that doesn't even necessarily generate engagement from users, but that generates engagement from maybe the team. Maybe they're like, oh, this dude actually, you know, went over my product, I'm going to share that. Or from builders, like, oh, he actually noticed like the intricacies of this, and we're kind of building something like similar to that. So it's not necessarily that maybe the average person wants to like read more or watch more, but you're actually showing you put effort into highlighting the product, which is what they originally paid for. You know, if they're putting hundreds of thousands of dollars towards these marketing campaigns, they do typically want more than people just to like AI rewrite the same garbage, in every single post. So yeah, that's what I did. So you can see that's a longer post. I literally just like, I took my transcript and I broke it down. And then I did a 5-minute video on it. It's not insane engagement. Like, I mean, you can see that's not really that much, but it's also like, it's a back-end protocol that nobody knows about. So like for me to even get 5K impressions on this protocol, on this social fi that not a lot of people are using, obviously was enough to get me into the top 3 of it. So yeah, that's just kind of my target for it, but everybody kind of has a different. I have seen people go from like 1 to 5K or even more doing these and kind of getting in these circles where they all kind of farm together, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not so much of a fan as the farming like circles, etc. Like I don't think that's beneficial to the space. I love this though, because this is basically getting somebody in the space who people listen to is outside of the scope of like the normal socket user, and it's like kind of perpetuating what's going on there. Some smart things he did here too, like you're paying attention, quote tweeting a socket post, also like probably getting on their radar that this is even getting posted. Like I love this. This is like just like exactly what a brand would want to see, and like this is exactly like you're like informing a user as well. Like you're like, hey, this is what this is, something that would interest you. Check it out.
The hope here is too, by the way, we didn't even cover this, is that one of these platforms or multiple of these platforms, I've heard things, I've heard things, whether it's Kaito, Cookie, or Wallchain, do support YouTube, do support TikTok, do support these other social medias. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it unless it reads the transcript directly. But if they do, and you're like a platform user, like everybody on this podcast is, at least with these shows, I mean, that could be massive. Because it's hard on other socials to like get traction. But if you already have a following and you're already talking about this stuff, you have such an advantage.
Yeah, very interesting. Something that I'm interested in as well. Kaito basically pushed me to post more on Twitter and like build my footprint there. So if you're somebody who is on the sideline, hasn't really participated in Twitter, I suggest looking at some of these protocols, jumping in and just posting, like just jumping in 2 feet. Proves your writing, improves how you think when you are putting your theses down and you are talking about things and pushing it out there. It makes you think more, makes you do more research. So I think it's like really cool as like a growth hack for yourself and like a carrot to chase while you're also building your CT footprint. That was a deep dive in there. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add, Kix or Chris, before we move on. Alrighty, so let's go to the next thing. Some buttons that I'm looking at clicking today is what I'm going to call this quick segment here. There's a couple things happening in the space. I'm going to highlight them. A mint on abstract monster capsules. This is for Monster Fun. Essentially, it's I believe like a Pokemon type game. I'm sure you know more about this than I do.
Yeah, it's got AI in it.
Yeah, Coliseum for AI agents. 750 monster capsules launching. I don't know if this is going to go to public. I haven't done a ton of research, but I've heard basically for a long time that this was like something that's been hyped. So public is later today at 5 p.m. Eastern, 0.125 ETH on abstract. Pretty pricey mint, but I'm seeing a good amount of hype here. It's only a 750 piece collection. Chris, you've been on abstract a bit. Have you heard about this project?
Yeah, I saw what is his name? Gorilla, but is it just Crypto Gorilla or whatever? I saw him talking about it on his YouTube about it. He's like the main NFT guy that's stuck with NFTs that still makes videos every day on NFTs. Crypto Gorilla, but he was talking about it and he was giving away whitelists and stuff. I haven't really dove into it. I'm pretty like allocated on abstract. Like I keep on seeing these P&Ls of people turning like 1,000 into 10,000. I think mine was like the opposite. I deposited like 100 and I turned it into 1,000. And then I spent that 1,000 on like abstract eco stuff. Like example, like last week I minted cores. I don't know if you remember, Sugartown had a free mint. And basically they separated from D20 Labs with Camel. Long story short, they just launched on abstract and I bought a couple of those and those were like 0.069 each or something like that. Yeah, so I wasn't keeping up with this one specifically, but I am keeping up with the abstract ecosystem. I like this Magic Eden feature. It's like somewhat new the last few weeks to where it has like the green going up or the red going down. It's like a small UI feature that just feels nice.
Yeah, we saw speaking of abstract, we saw Final Basu reveal, I believe, or like hint at revealing There's like a campaign with OpenSea and some other different, I think Abstract as well, where like they changed their PFPs on Twitter to be like a final Balsu PFP. I saw this yesterday, I believe. It looks like OpenSea might have changed back already, but like they rock this as their PFP yesterday. It's all
Dude, the OpenSea intern's been going off, man. It's kind of funny. Like they do like a pretty similar GM every morning, changing PFPs. They're getting ready for that that season 2 airdrop or whatever season it's in. But have you guys been farming that at all?
Not like I should have been. To be
So
honest.
apparently, if you were buying Abstract NFTs on OpenSea, not like through Abstract or whatever, then they airdropped some crate to you, like an Abstract crate, and people are speculating on what that's going to be. I didn't. I used Magic Eden primarily, but yeah, you might have crates in there now. Yeah, so there's one that was like literally like green and had the Abstract logo on it.
I think this is for sweeping, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird how big OpenSea was in 2021, and now like not even a lot of people care about the airdrop, the XP that they're giving out.
Yeah,
I was researching some stuff. I mean, they've recaptured a lot of market share from Blur. It's pretty much 50-50 right now.
Yeah, but Blur did their airdrop and OpenSea didn't. You know, like we know how that goes.
No,
like
totally.
Blur, when they were doing their airdrop, you know, whatever, didn't they have like 80% something wild like that? Because everybody's going to use whatever the airdrop's doing. I'm even thinking about going to OpenSea just because, like, you know, why not? They're doing XP on it. But I think they also didn't OpenSea they're sort of like a DEX now too. I really haven't been keeping up, but like I think you can like swap Solana on it, or is that just talking about Solana NFTs?
I'm not sure. I've been out of the NFT game, but I have been doing more research lately. I was looking into like Hyperliquid and their NFT ecosystem. I was just curious about it, but there's all sorts of interesting things. Like, for example, Polygon is up there in terms of NFT volume. And I'm like, how is Polygon doing so much NFT volume? And it's like 70% Courtyard. So it's more so showing that
makes sense.
Courtyard is doing a lot of volume. Which I thought was very interesting. Polygon's it's such an interesting chain, right? Because you don't hear a lot of people doing things on Polygon, but then like Polygon literally has Polymarket and Courtyard, you know, like two really interesting different verticals where they're the dominant in both of them.
Well, it's not big anymore, but they had the Reddit NFTs as well. You know, when the Reddit users who hate NFTs dumped on all the CT bros. But that was big for, you know, a couple months. I thought those were super cool because I used Reddit for a while, and you know, just to be able to integrate NFTs there.
Yeah, I flipped some of those.
I've got
somebody confirmed that OpenSea does have a token swap. I didn't think I was crazy there, but that probably helps too.
Yeah, I think they have it. I think it's on EVM. I think they can token swap on EVM. Just showing people my entire bag right now, of course, on this wallet. But I don't think they have Solana yet at this point. Which is interesting. I definitely haven't farmed this enough. Like, I'm looking at the shipments here. Like, there's definitely some of these things that you could have been doing, like weekly sweeps, buying like once a week, using Ronin. There's a Solana token swap here, which is interesting because I didn't see any Solana like options for DEX. So
I've done nothing, bro, on this.
Yeah, I've hit a couple of these. Like we were saying, like OpenSea, 44% market share right now, Blur down to 24 in terms of the last 24 hours. So yeah, OpenSea's come back. I kind of think it almost shows you that people like really could care less about like the user experience. Like people have been saying like, oh, the user experience on Blur is so much better, blah, blah, blah. And I hate OpenSea. It's really just all about incentives and like the bottom line.
Yeah. And I think also user experience was, the 0.5% or 0% fees to trade the NFTs. Because personally, OpenSea, like I like their like charting better and stuff like that. Like Blur, like you only can see things 30 days out or whatever, and like their charts kind of suck. Like I always really liked the OpenSea experience just from a consumer perspective. Blur was great when it came down to farming.
Yeah, I remember just like you said, like only like 0.5% fees. Like obviously everybody cared about that, especially when NFTs had higher trading volume. And I do think that like the UI for like traders when it first launched compared to how OpenSea was at that time was like more trader friendly. Even smaller things like the sweep feature was like easier to use. The being able to like categorize was easier. Like it was more optimized for traders, but OpenSea like quickly just caught up. I mean, they had the resources, they had the time to like catch up with it. So, and now, you know, NFT trading isn't quite as hot as it was in 2021 or whatever year that was, 2022. So it doesn't really matter anymore.
Looking at the OpenSea feature, I also like they have your portfolio value broken down by ETH offers on NFTs, which I feel like is how you have to do it nowadays, as opposed to like absurd.
I don't want to. I don't want to look. I don't want to know.
I mean, most of my NFT is sitting in, or most of my NFT bag is just sitting in Kaito. So like I'm not holding a ton of NFT exposure anyway. All right, so that's the first button I'm looking at clicking today. We went on a tangent here. It's the Mint Monster capsules, whether it's minting them or seeing what secondary action looks like and kind of trading. Maybe you see something like a mint out in allow list and then sort of a like spike. I'd be looking at a retrace there to potentially jump into this to just kind of get some more abstract exposure. Number two, I saw this earlier today. I have no idea what this is, to be honest, but it has my attention because there's $3.5 million put into this GAVL public sale. It looks like it's essentially a on-chain token distribution. So like another one of these launch pads. This is super degen. I haven't done this yet. I probably won't, as it's closing in 13 minutes. But something I wanted to say, like this is something that exists. There's 1,800 people have contributed 3.5 million. So if you're looking for a super degen high risk bet, that's something that's going on as well. And then third, this is probably the one I'm most excited about. This is the VIRGEN Memecoin launching on Virtuals. This is from the team behind Vader. If you are familiar with Vader, that was one of the bigger AI agents from last cycle. So they're launching essentially a meme coin it's called VIRGEN because the point system on Virtuals is called VIRGEN points. So it's kind of like a meme coin of the ecosystem. So this is one that I'll probably end up max allocating into when it goes live. This goes live shortly, and then it'll close tomorrow. Actually, is it live now? Yeah, it's live now. So it closes in 23 hours, just opened up. I'll probably wait till this evening, max allocate points in virtual. I think this one's going to be a very highly contested one that's going to be over committed as well, and continuing to work with my strategy on the Virtuals ecosystem. So just a couple buttons I'm clicking today. I wanted to highlight that for any degens in the crowd have been following along. Is there anything that you guys have had your eyes on in the ecosystems? Chris, I know you've been busy over in Abstract. You've been busy over in Bitcoin land. Is there anything that's caught your eye in terms of on-chain activity that you've been clicking around in?
I mean, really a lot of what we talked about, like with the InfoFi, with Abstract, with we didn't really talk about it. I think maybe both of you are on it, but the Arena has still been having a lot of cool updates. They did like a DEX recently, and the Avalanche ecosystem. It's like it gets really hot for a couple weeks and then it cools off and it gets really hot. But I'm always looking at over at AVAX, specifically the Arena, what they got cooking, but nothing too crazy right now. You know, I work with Pizza Ninjas. We have like 2 big events coming up with Bitcoin Vegas and with NFT Lisbon, or the NFC conference. So really just like prepping for those and like kind of heads down building, making my own content, kind of trying to keep up what's in the space. But I haven't been trading memes as much lately. I go through phases where like I like stay up every night trading. And then I go through phases to where like I just don't touch it. And I've probably haven't touched any memes in like 6 days. So yeah, nothing like really keeping me too busy right now, other than pretty much everything we talked about today, which is time consuming. But I feel like this stuff is like productive for me because it helps me grow my platform, which like I already try to do, while like being able to possibly get airdrops, like while learning stuff and making myself like just like a smarter person in the space, I guess, like is for my expectations. Like, I mean, I've learned more this year just in Web3 than I have probably the last like 4 years combined.
Yeah, I feel like there's just been so much going on right now. I'm a Pizza Ninja holder. What's going on in Vegas? What's the deal over there? Like big party?
Yeah, so there's Inscribing Vegas, which is kind of like a Bitcoin DeFi side of Bitcoin Vegas. And Pizza Ninjas is hosting the official after party for it. But the cool thing is this year in Vegas, the Inscribing Nashville, which is again Bitcoin DeFi, ordinals, runes, lending, like anything Bitcoin DeFi related, is actually on the official Vegas tickets. Like you can buy like a regular ticket, that standard ticket that gets you into the conference. And I think like your next ticket upgrade gets you access to Inscribing Vegas as well as our after party. And it says it like on the ticket. So it's cool that Bitcoin DeFi is like trying to make its way into like core like Bitcoin events. So yeah, there's going to be some like massive speakers there. Obviously, it was in Nashville last year. It was a great time in Nashville. I had a ton of fun. It was going to be the same venue that just changed up. But yeah, last year we actually dunked Clemente in the dunk tank. We had a dunk tank there. I think we're bringing that back as well. So that was pretty fun. We had a couple, I think it was off this show, Clemente, Easy, Theo, and Nick came to the after party. And yeah, we're running it back in a little bit over a week. Lots of like crunch time to do with it. Oh, Ray, I'm not trying to show here. This is just because you said you have a ninja. We made a hat for every unique ninja. So like one of 1,500 different hats that have each of the ninjas on it. I have one right here actually. And so we'll be bringing those to Vegas, but Ray, you have one of yours. I can ship it to you.
Yeah, grab it. I'll pay you for shipping. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll rock it on the show all the time. I have like such a sick ninja. Like it's gonna be impossible for me to part with my ninja. Like when I meant it, I was like, damn, it's awesome. It's got a little lightsaber. He's blue. Blue's my favorite color. It's perfect.
But yeah, man, I mean, really just working a lot. Like working for like a startup. It's my first startup I've ever worked for, and you're just pulled in so many different directions, but in a good way. Like I've learned like how to adapt, like how to like change roles, like because we're doing a bunch of different stuff. We're building out our own IP as well, but we also made a game like our that you guys saw on the show, the Pizza Pets. We have season 2 rolling out of that, and there's a lot of things that go into that. We have like animations rolling out. There's just a lot of moving parts with a pretty small team. So I've been heads down busy, but also like feeling like I'm gaining life experience because I've, again, not just in the DeFi world, but I've just learned so much these last like year or so.
Yeah, that's awesome. Excited to see what comes out of Bitcoin Vegas. I think there's a lot of stuff coming out in Bitcoin DeFi that's going to be super interesting over the next year. We're about to kick off a fun partnership with Ducat later this week. They have some exciting things coming out in the lending space on mainnet. Really excited to talk about that. And I'm just seeing more and more activity on Bitcoin mainnet. I think that it's hard to get people, especially like old Bitcoin whales and the store of value people, to part with their Bitcoin to do DeFi. But I think it's such an untapped market that we can see that growth. And I think that's going to bring a lot more attention to things like runes, ordinals, just standard, any kind of DeFi on Bitcoin.
So I know this is a competitor to who you just mentioned, but Liquidium will have an announcement at Bitcoin Vegas, at Inscribing Vegas that I was just talking about. Their Bitcoin lending DeFi, but their token's been doing pretty good. It's like the LIQ token, the liquid token. And even like, I know most people here know this, but just the idea of being able to borrow or lend against your ordinals or even against your NFTs is a really cool concept that like, I don't think Bitcoin whales are necessarily coming in to like, I mean, they could lend their Bitcoin because depending on the amount that you're lending, there's limited risk there. Obviously, there's some level of trust in that third party, aka Liquidium or whatever. But besides that, you are gaining interest on your Bitcoin without having with being able to keep it in the native token. You don't have to wrap it. You don't have to like convert it to another chain or anything. So I mean, I think there will be things that make more sense for like people who just want to buy and hold Bitcoin. But inversely, I mean, I got wrecked on some Bitcoin DeFi. Like obviously, I got wrecked on runes. I see that when I see the Bitcoin chart making all new all-time highs, I'm just thinking of like the what could have been if I didn't degen last year on this time. Even like I had a seed investment last year that I invested in Bitcoin, and it's like I haven't seen a dime out of that. Whereas if I just kept it in Bitcoin, it would be pretty nice right now. So these Bitcoin all-time highs they're more sweet than bitter, but there's definitely a lot of like what could have been.
Yeah, for sure. Seeing some notes from the crowd here. There may be another button I'm clicking today, apparently. Sneaker Dad asked about the Mega Rabbit drop. It looks like there is a drop coming for Fluffles. If you've been paying attention to MegaETH, we've been covering that a decent amount on the show. There's a mint coming today, 0.01 ETH on the Kingdomly app. I haven't heard of any of this. I need to do some research, but if you have a Fluffle, which we the soulbound NFT on MegaETH, you have access to this mint. So another one I'm paying attention to. Shout out Sneaker Dad in the crowd for highlighting this specific opportunity as
well. Do you guys have the MegaETH NFT?
I do. I'm not sure if Kix does.
A what NFT?
The Fluffle rabbit.
No.
How'd you get it? Wasn't it like pretty hard to get?
I think it was based on chain activity for your wallet. So if you had like a good Ethereum wallet from last cycle, you essentially got access to their allow list mint.
Dang. Yeah, I wasn't eligible. I checked. And I feel like I was pretty active, but guess not active enough.
All right. We've covered a lot today. We've gotten through almost everything I want to talk about. Just some quick hitters to run through before we wrap the show, and anything else you guys would like to add. You can find all these quick hitters on our newsletter. If you go to dailybones.com, you get all this information shipped to your inbox each and every weekday, and now on Saturdays with a nice little weekly recap. Quick hitters from today: Succinct Labs makes a breakthrough with real-time Ethereum proofs. Big ZK achievement there. Bloomberg had a brief system outage this morning, affecting some British trade deals and some interest purchases there. Subsidiary multinational financial services company Society General is looking to launch a stable coin. So a big global financial company looking to launch their own stable coin, get into the stable coin business. Been seeing a lot of talk and action around this. Binance Alphas, this is their new like wallet protocol. They've now broke 2 billion in volume, daily volume for the first time. Big number there for Binance Alpha. The SEC sued Unicoin for $100 million in fraud claims. I've never heard of Unicoin. New York City continues to advance their crypto acceleration with announcing a crypto advisory council that will be advising the city on crypto matters. The SEC delayed Bitwise and Grayscale XRP ETF filings. I think we're going to continue to see these delays until basically the deadlines, allowing other companies to submit as well. In the meantime, Bitwise had an interesting day. They launched 3 income-based options ETFs that are basically stacked on top of their existing crypto ETF products, their Bitcoin ETF, their Ethereum ETF, and then a basket ETF of crypto companies. So there's these income-based options ETFs using option strategies to basically earn yield. And last but not least, State of Capital, I believe they're Amsterdam-based. They raised $175 million to invest in early-stage blockchain startups. So we're going to see VC money coming back into the space. I think we'll see more and more of this over time. That wraps it up for the quick hitters. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about before we wrap today?
Nothing crazy for me. I'm just looking at some interesting coins as things are heating up. I still like Hyperliquid a lot. I think the chart and fundamentals look great there. I'm keeping an eye on Launchcoin because it's been consolidating in this $250 million range for a while, and they made a big update yesterday that people are pretty excited about. And I think that, for a launch pad with the amount of attention that they've had, $250 million isn't a crazy valuation. And the ranging for the last 7 days or so may mostly just be people that got in super early or, TWAPing out, taking some nice juicy profits. But wouldn't be too surprised if Launchcoin made a big leg up in the next week or so to like 500 million. So keeping an eye on that as well.
That just reminded me, for those that are interested in streaming, Pump.fun announced that they're going to do $1 million grants to live streamers that are going to live stream on Pump. And they have a form that's on their X account you can go fill out if you think that you just make a proposal like, hey, this is how I'm going to stream. This is what I'm going to do. This is the budget that I need. And they'll decide whether to approve your grant or not. I'm probably going to apply just to like, why not? I'm probably going to like overdo it because I don't really care if it gets accepted or not. Like ask heavier, but I'm trying to think of something, and I've had a few ideas of something creative because there's going to be a lot of people that just stream and don't really get a lot of traction. But yeah, I mean that's something to be thinking of, even if like you're not typically a streamer. Like I have a friend who's pretty familiar with Pump.fun, and we have a really good idea for him. And he's not even, if he gets approved, he's going to be doing all of it off of his phone, basically. So it's $1 million in grants. Like I imagine there will be like a couple of big creators that take a big chunk of that. But besides that, I don't see why they wouldn't allocate $1,000 here, $1,000 there to take a gamble on people that are going to, do the commitments.
Interesting opportunity. For sure. Sorry, I was just pulled up the Bitcoin chart. We crossed back over 107K, got a little distracted. Yeah, definitely check that out. I've got a hard stop now, so I've got to wrap up the show. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a wonderful weekday. Thank you so much to Chris for coming on and joining. Big shout out. You've been a huge help. I had a ton of fun today. The audience always learns more from a different perspective. Chris, shout out. Thank you so much for jumping on. Great time, Kicks. Thank you all for listening. We do this podcast Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Catch us on all major podcasting platforms. You can watch us back on YouTube. See what we're talking about in live time. Again, thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful